Howdy, y'all. It's Reese, aka Bearman Prime, on this April 16th. Welcome back to my Read the Bible in a Year series. Thank you again for joining me. God bless you. Card in the top right hand corner for the rest of the playlist, and please hit the like button, the subscribe button, and that notification bell, please. I really do appreciate it. So, yesterday we saw how Solomon, king of Israel, built the great temple in Jerusalem, the temple of worship for worship of the Lord in the city of Jerusalem. We saw that there was a lot that went into it. It took 7 years to complete, and there was a lot of stone and wood and lots of gold that went into the making of this temple. And that is a testament to how good of a king Solomon was. God richly blessed Solomon. Use that word correctly, richly, because Solomon was rich, not only in wisdom, but rich in material wealth as well. God blessed him with lots of wealth as a result of his devotion to God. So we're going to see here just how wealthy Solomon and powerful Solomon actually was as he takes a visitor from the Queen of Sheba. So let's go to 1 Kings chapter 10 today, starting in verse 1. The Queen of Sheba heard about Solomon, so she came to test him with hard questions. She traveled to Jerusalem with a very large group of servants. There were many camels carrying spices, jewels, and a lot of gold. She met Solomon and asked him all the questions that she could think of. Solomon answered all the questions. None of her questions was too hard for him to explain. The Queen of Sheba saw that Solomon was very wise. She also saw the beautiful palace he had built. She saw the food at the king's table. She saw his officials meeting together. She saw the servants in the palace and the good clothes they wore. She saw his parties and the sacrifices that he offered to the Lord's temple. She was so amazed she could hardly breathe. Then she said to King Solomon, "The stories I heard in my country about your great works and your wisdom are true. I did not believe it until I came and saw it with my own eyes. Now I see that it is even greater than what I heard. Your wealth and wisdom are much greater than people told me. Your wives and officers are very fortunate because they serve you and hear your wisdom every day. Praise the Lord your God. He was pleased to make you king of Israel. Because of the Lord's unending love for Israel, he has made you king to rule with justice and fairness." Then the Queen of Sheba gave King Solomon 4.5 tons of gold, a huge amount of spices, and precious stones. She gave him more spices than anyone has ever brought into Israel. Hiram's ships also brought gold from Ophir. They also brought jewels and a special kind of wood. Solomon used the special wood to build supports in the temple and the palace, as well as harps and lyres for the singers. That was the last time such a large shipment of that kind of wood was brought to Israel. There hasn't been any seen around here since then. King Solomon gave the Queen of Sheba everything she asked for. He gave her more than she brought to give him. Then the Queen of Sheba and her servants left and went back to their own country. So there you have it. So this Queen of Sheba, who I believe at this time was, the leader of a quite powerful and wealthy nation, and she hears all these stories about the wisdom of King Solomon and the power and the wealth that he has. There's all these great stories, and it sounds too good to be true. And so she has to go and see for herself. So she travels to Israel to meet Solomon, and wouldn't you know it, the stories were not just too good to be true, but the reality was even better than the stories. The stories didn't tell half of what was true. King Solomon was more wise and more wealthy and more powerful than the stories ever told. And she was just blown away by all this. And all of that is because Solomon remained devoted to the Lord and loved God and continued to follow in his ways. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. If we follow God's ways and we continue to follow him, he will bless us. He will grant us blessings. Maybe not material blessings, but there will be blessings regardless, abundant blessings. That's all for today. Thank you again for joining me. I sure do appreciate it. I'll see y'all tomorrow.